you're hooking a target that's basically unkillable. Now, Career keeps going in onto the Corki. This isn't looking good. He is going to have to flash away. Does use his Ignite. It's a lot of trade back potential, but now the flash in onto Smash, who also went too far. deokdam has his flash too, and with the barrier coming in, deokdam getting super low. But it's just going to be first blood going over to Peter. Career desperate for something back, and they even give the kill to deokdam. 2-0 for the DNS bottom lane.
Bit of a disaster here for Smash and Career. I was ready to sing the praises of Career and Smash on the initial part of that, but then they got a little bit disjointed on what happened next, and the punish came through super quickly there from deokdam and Peter. Yeah.
Gwen is immune, by the way.
Yeah, cannot be
Troll
damaged
face.
or... It's hard to tell if my, like, you know, fantasy world scenario is what happened. We might have another skirmish here, so I'll get back to it later. Peter is take a bit of damage.
He's level 6, though, to Career's level 5, and Clozer's here first. That's a flash away from Lucid already. Lots of poke damage, though, coming out from Smash, and now ShowMaker gets on over. They get the kill onto Peter, but Pyosik is going to get away. Clozer as well on very little mana, or rather health. They do survive, though, ends up being a 1-for-1, but Smash does pick up a kill.
Peter held his ultimate really late in the fight. I thought he wasn't even going to get to use it at the end, but did hit ShowMaker and denied some of that follow-up damage. Unfortunately, deokdam isn't quite large enough, even with his big health pool there,
to getting his flash back.
Yeah, it looks like he wanted to bait around that timing for Pyosik. Instead, Pyosik's just going to go top side here. This ward is going to be quite valuable for Siwoo. Has his jungler coming up.
Yeah, the top dives for Pyosik, sometimes a little bit iffy. This time it will be as well, as Lucid is here. And Pyosik going to be slowed down. The needles, though, will prevent them from following. And also, importantly, Clozer here as the knockback does come in. And Lucid, super low, goes into his ult and gets a rock to the face as Clozer on the roam makes a big play.
ShowMaker is going to get some plate gold, but actually deokdam is there to answer the push. So looks like nothing too crazy going to happen for this Azir in the mid lane, and they're going for a follow-up dive.
Yeah, they might as well. The depth charge is here for Peter. Siwoo doesn't have his ult or flash. It's just free food, and Peter's able to tank it as well. This is pretty huge in the early game for DNS.
Just a small health advantage, but he's like, that's enough for me to look for these Gatling guns with Valkyrie, especially when the support isn't here. I'm free to use Valk without any punish. Career wants to come over and punish, but can't.
They're looking for Career now, actually, who does have his flash and Eclipse. Takes a big chunk of damage, but now Clozer looking to get into the fight. They're going to get the flash out of Career for their troubles. Looking for more as Lucid going to get ulted and knocked back into the depth charge. He doesn't get to play the game as the Xin Zhao is tanking up quite a bit, actually, with his ult. And down will go Clozer as Smash doing quite a lot in this scrappy skirmish. And now deokdam tries to go in on a ShowMaker and just dies to him. And it's only Pyosik left alive against 3. And eventually he will just die to Ignite. Best junglers at absorbing pressure. And now we're just fighting again. As Clozer is going to have to flash away. And deokdam says, hey, how about I start up this dragon? He is going to have to Valkyrie out of here. And it looks like Peter is not going to be in the pit for very long. As down he will go, ShowMaker collects another kill, and Lucid hits level 11. As Dplus KIA are catapulting into the lead in this mid-game.
What? And the Herald. Of course, not Grubs, but Herald.
Yeah.
Which can do some serious damage on its own.
Yeah, I think they wanted to try to collapse into the fight and then realized that they were being collapsed on faster. And then they just tried to abandon ship, and it looked very silly. As now we're going in. Again, this is Lucid, level 11, an item and a half. Doesn't really care about too much, but has less of his team around this time. So will survive for quite a long time, but does eventually go down. Pyosik picks up the kill.
I don't know if it's worth if you lose.
Yeah. I would like DK to, you know, be a bit proactive. They've been very good about getting the vision and, you know, setting up what could be a good play. I think, you know, you got to pull the trigger now. You drop the Rift Herald, take the Dragon, get that on its cooldown timer so you can, you know, pressure. Instead, they're just going to try to push mid, and Lucid's going to die. Yeah, I don't know. Career gonna hit the wall as well as deokdam's going in, nearly takes out Smash as the flash on in from Peter to block the Mystic shot. And he's gonna die instead, but now we got a Gwen in the party as Smash goes down to the Gwen. It's a massive shutdown for DuDu. And all of a sudden, one big mistake for DK, and they didn't even get the Dragon.
I'm not also sure how you had to identify the play and then execute.
Now Peter Oh, they're trying to collapse on this actually with a TP. A lot of DK is around, but this Gwen is going to be in a great spot, and Dplus KIA kind of just on the run as Lucid, once again, just the punching bag. He does not have flash. Down he will go, and they just say, hey, there's a Baron here. Maybe we can take it. No. Pyosik nearly dies, and they certainly can't just take the Baron as much as Clozer would like to.
However, you will eventually have to use that gold to get the power from it. And I think that might be the timing here. As the dragon spawns, they do have that set up a little bit slower than I expected, as here's the engage.
Yeah, once again, it's DNS who are pulling the trigger, and Dplus KIA are just running away. Career's just dead. I mean, Flash and Ignite gone, and he's just dead.
And it's just Nautilus ult. Like, they still have the Vi ultimate available here.
They're trying to fight for this. I'm not sure they're in a position to really do that, although a lot of damage does go into Peter. Pyosik going to go on a magical journey of his own and just kind of die. Meanwhile, Siwoo's going 1v3, takes him out. They get on top of Clozer as well, and DuDu doesn't quite have the damage, gets pushed over the wall. deokdam, though, goes back in and just dies, and the 4v5 goes handily to Dplus KIA. The Rabadons and the Infinity Edge on their two carries, and they're just short on both. So very unfortunate timing for DNS, but they have to step up and fight now with the Elder on the map. Career says, I'll get the job done for you. I will actually engage on the Leona. And at the end of the day, if they do engage on Leona and the rest of Dplus KIA is actually here, you're not going to have a good time anyway. So
this is not exactly what I meant by Dplus not really doing the Elder. It doesn't feel like Dplus have 2 inhibitor advantage right now. ShowMaker looked like maybe he was going to go over and start soloing it, but he did not.
Eventually somebody has to
Lucid will.
I think DuDu probably going to have to stop the top wave here soon.
Yeah, you'll have to back and then TP back to the fight.
Yeah, going to go in onto Career. Not a big surprise there. deokdam avoiding the public execution, and now they're going in onto Siwoo, but that's not a good target as Pyosik goes into his GA, and Career survives. Peter going to go down, and so should Pyosik follow. DuDu just out of the fight, not really able to do much, taking a 1v1 against ShowMaker, while the rest of the team just dies, although deokdam did get 2 kills somehow.
The inhibitors respawn.
But eventually, DuDu will also go down. It's a quadra kill for the Ezreal, but it's not going to be the Penta. And with a giant wave in the top lane and a lost fight, Dplus KIA will just win game 1.
Yeah, the Ezreal comes over here as the inhibitors respawn awkwardly. So these minions will be very sad for a moment until Smash fixes that. And now the game will end. Bit of a passive one from Dplus. I think in a lot of ways played not to lose rather than to play to win quickly. But slow and